Good evening, Warband. There are no beats today, cause I ain't trying to get embarrassed when it comes to all that lagging that happens on StreamYard. Good evening, Warband. Oh, stop the echo. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, it's been a very crazy last couple of weeks. Have you guys noticed that all my haters lately are black men and women that are racist to other black men and women? I'm just saying, it's just me. I never had to deal with something in this magnitude before, but it definitely gives a lot of proof when it comes to the crab bucket mentality in the black community. They don't want to build. They want to preach all up in the cameras and shit, talking about, oh, we need to stick together. We need to unite. We need another Black Wall Street. We need this. We need that. But as soon as there's a black person that has a different point of view, have different opinions, different beliefs, they're the most racist of them all. And once again, if you guys are new to the situation or the little drama that's happening, just go ahead and look at Undead Chronic's most recent live stream, or you can look at my video that I uploaded today. It is crazy, but at the same time, I'm glad that they outed themselves. I'm so glad because they love to play victim. They love to say, "Oh, I like these group of people because my own black man, they're this, they're that." See, if you only know a certain group of men that are just ain't shit, they're just a bunch of Pookie and Ray Rays and Tyrones, that says something about you. Because I know countless good black men and women out there. But if you associate with everybody that's within your life, that's just nothing but Tyrones and Pookie and Ray Rays, the dudes that just hang out on the corner, smash and dash, do crime, go to jail, go to prison. Why won't you take accountability of the men that you associate with? Instead of taking accountability, she wants to just throw her bad personal decisions on everybody else and say that, oh, white men are better because white men are this, white men are that. I'm just saying this right now, gentlemen, because of course, if you listen to my video, I didn't really even have a chance to speak. As soon as I spoke and as soon as she knew my skin color, immediately she went straight to the rudeness, constantly interrupting me, and racial slurs. And she has the audacity to tell me to calm down. She has the audacity to tell me to calm down, even though I don't know what her history is. I don't know if her parents, great grandparents, whatever it is, were African American slaves. But the audacity of this chick, if that's the case, the audacity that she's going to call another black man that word, the audacity. Hey, I'm not saying that you guys can't agree with her. You can agree with her if you want. I'm just saying the points that she was making made no sense whatsoever. And on top of that, just because of my skin color alone, she was disregarding everything that I had to say. But she was clearly all giggly and all yes, King Chronic, yes, because you have pale skin. I'm definitely going to agree with everything that you say. Please give me a ring. Oh shit. That girl is insecure. That girl is definitely on some self-hating shit. Okay. Just because I disagree with what happens in the black community, not once, not once, I just disregard myself as not being African American, not being black. Not once I completely disregard black women of being subhuman. That's some vile, evil shit. And yet she's on live stream in front of 700 people last night talking about that like it was normal. disgusting and vile behavior. And of course, she's a sex worker, so that kind of explains a lot. But besides that, once again, I'm still going to have a lot more to say on this. I have a lot more to say. Jesus. But the topic today we're going to be talking about is going to be very important. Very, 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 very important. See, when it comes in a man's life, right? In a man's life, there's plenty of obstacles. There's plenty of issues that man's go through. Come on. In life, we are not going to expect you to be happy 100% of the time. We're not going to expect you to have success 100% of the time. There are going to be some times that you're going to be hitting your lows. Okay. There are going to be some times that maybe you have self-doubt. Maybe you believe that you're not able to do something. Maybe you just disregarded confidence, you just disregard any type of motivation. Because if you don't have any motivation, what's the point? The overall message that me and Greg are going to talk about today is it's okay to be weak, but it's not okay to stay weak. I repeat, it's okay to be weak because it happens to all of us, but it's not okay to stay weak. Now, before I let Gray in, if you want to support your boy, the Warband, hopefully you guys did enjoy the Godfather theme art and music. I think the artist did a phenomenal job. But if you want to continue pushing out more art for me, if you want to just donate just because, there's two links on top of the chat, PayPal and Cash App. You can super chat, super thanks, whatever it is. I don't care. All donations are appreciated. But I want you guys here to listen to what we have to say. Money comes and goes, but actually talking about important issues like this, it may stick with you for a long time. So it's all up on you, gentlemen. All up on you. But as long as you give me your time to listen, that's what matters at the end. But let me bring in Gray right quick. Do 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 do. Oh, I have to read the comment. Sorry. Yeetus, that woman was horrible yesterday. It's clear that she hates you. Don't let her vile words get to you. Bro, I try to keep it cool. I try to keep it civil if you guys watched the live stream yesterday. But holy fuck, the contrast of night and day of how she treated Chronic compared to she treated me solely because of my skin color. How the fuck are you not racist at that point? Like it's insane. It's insane. Let me keep going. But at the same time, when black men go out and do their own thing and date outside their race, and let's say not just any black man, a black man that's actually successful, then date outside their race, they throw the biggest fit, the biggest temper tantrums I've ever seen. You black men don't love us. You don't protect us. Ah! But you were just worshiping Chad over there and then acting like the rest of us are worse than dogs. Keep that same energy while I'm dealing with Latinas, Asians, white women, Indian women, Native women, whatever women. You guys had your chance for years. But that live stream yesterday literally proves how many black women out there treats black men as a whole. I want no disagreements on that. Not saying that there isn't any good black women, but what I'm saying is majority of black women has a similar perspective as that woman yesterday. Arlen Hermit, thank you for the generous $5. Men are made in darkness. You have to get up and become stronger from the pain. Use the pain as fuel, gentlemen. Arlen Hermit made complete facts. Holy fuck. Underchronic. Oh, Underchronic, supposedly there's a few people that were pretty upset that you didn't step in and say anything when she was being vile towards me. I'm like, he doesn't have to step in. He doesn't have. It's much better to let the person that's being assaulted deal with it himself or herself. Undercron doesn't have to get involved. And also content. Content is very important. So of course, Undercron is not going to blow up his whole live stream just to defend some sex worker that has a weird fetish for white men. So do. Okay, I'm gonna start adding gray. I agree, cool chickens. He's a grown man, let him do it himself. I agree. But I had to leave that stream because I was about to nuke Undead Chronic stream so quickly. I was about to nuke it so quick. But I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do my boy Undead Chronic like that. I ain't gonna do him like that. That's why I said I had to go. I had to go. Because if she was on my live stream, she would not have lasted 15 minutes whatsoever. It's not just because she's racist against her own black men. It's the fact that her quote unquote logic is all over the place. Her contradictions are insane. She would not be able to keep up. Under Chronic, I had to literally convince her to talk to Yeetus in the first place. Besides, she was exposing herself by being nasty to you. Yeah, of course. Of course. If Undead Chronic intervened, we would not be able to see the full vile fucking craziness that's coming out of her mouth. So I'm glad that Undead Chronic didn't interfere. I'm very glad. I didn't even know she was a sex worker until she left until I left Island Hermit. I didn't know she was a sex worker. Her opinions are completely invalid at that point. I do not take sex workers seriously. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, I keep dissing Gray right now. Let me add him. What's going on, Gray? I know it's been like 200 times.
Good evening. Oh god, yeah, sex worker with a hymen. Fucking square that circle.
Yeah, how the fuck do you have a get the fuck out, bro? I was heated in the comments. Everybody, I know everybody remembers. Woo! Like she was getting on my damn nerves, man.
No, but then the funny thing of like the word knacker, like when you have it with a K, like Knacker, it actually means very tired, usually worn out, like after a hard day's work.
Right, but I know she was trying to.
Oh yeah, we know.
But I'm like the just the audacity.
Lion the witch, the audacity of this bitch.
It literally, like, do you remember the Chappelle show where he was a fake Klansman? Where he was blind, so he couldn't see.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you remember?
I remember that skit, yeah.
Yeah, that's literally the female version. Oh shit. But D-Man, $2. Thank you for the donation. Yeet can't hold his own. Salute Yeetus. Yeah, I could, but I was on another person's platform and I knew I had to back off. I just knew I had to back off because woo, I was you know where you just like, you know what? You just like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth doing it? You know, nuking your homeboy's channel. But I was like, you know what? Hey, do your own thing, man. Because clearly she's bending it over for Undead Chronic. Just because Undead Chronic could be a fucking serial killer and she was still bend it over. That's how bad it is. He can literally say, I hate all black women. And she'll be like, Oh man. Oh, I'm not wrong, chat. I'm not wrong. That's how bad it was. She tried to have arguments, but anything the Underchronic said, she's like, "Oh, I agree. I agree. I agree." Fucking. This is why I tell you, gentlemen, your woman or the woman of your country or society will not hesitate to sleep with the enemy before your body turns cold. Just put it out there. Uh God's doomer. Gotta take care of the boy. Thank you for your $5 donations, man. It looks like you're worshiping the sun. I like your avatar pic. But let's get back on track because she's clearly a waste of time. I just need to put it out there to clear out some things because it was definitely pretty hectic yesterday. Great. Today's topic. Is it okay to be weak, but not okay to stay weak?
Well, we're always going to be at that point. Like, I don't know any baby that can bench 350, so
True. I'll give you that one.
like we're
But
always going to start off like weak, like and inexperienced in something. Like kid's gonna cry. Gonna like is literally the first thing you do. Like if you're like a healthily born baby, first thing you're gonna do is cry and shit your pants.
okay, but what about adult men? Is it okay for them?
Well, there's consequences to it.
How so?
And that's the thing. Like, well, for one, you lose like anything. Like you got to ask, okay, why? Like, what's the situation? Like, if it's a stress, let's assume you're in danger. If you as a man are in danger and you cry and shit your pants, you're gonna die.
Agreed. I agree.
Like, if you're in if you're in a fight, you're gonna lose that fight. I mean, how many? I'm sure you've probably seen footage of like some of these Antifa bums when someone finally fights back with them, where they finally get arrested. Like they literally will start screaming for their mothers. Like they cry back down and scream for their mothers. Like,
Oh, squealing like pigs. Yeah.
yeah, it's like you're not gonna win anything that way. Like if you get yourself into that situation and that's how you react to any sort of resistance, you are going to lose.
I agree. I agree. And when it comes to being weak, or being perceived being of being weak, do you believe the fathers being kicked out of the home and a single mother epidemic is a big cause on how men of today thinks it's okay to stay weak?
Well, a big part of that is because perceived weakness is incentivized.
Right.
Like for example, like say your boss is the kind of person to put his pronouns in his bio.
Ugh.
Yeah, like you don't necessarily want to appear super strong and independent at that point.
That's true. That's true.
And that so no, like and you can understand being perceived one way or another. That's the thing. Like a strong man definitely has the option of being perceived as weak. And weak people will often try to project strength. But the difference is when tested, a strong man can pretend, like it can actually act weak, hide their power level, so to speak. A weak man, when tested, cannot be strong.
Right. I get what you're saying. Like if the weak and a strong dude is able to walk down the street, then all of a sudden they get ambushed by the yakuza or something like that. It'll be two different responses. But the strong man, the masculine man, has the option of like fighting back or just backing off.
Like a rich man like can act and live a poor lifestyle, but a poor man cannot act and live a rich lifestyle.
They try their best. They try their best. But it fails. It fails.
They live beyond their means, or even in a weightlifting thing, like the guy who can like bench 350, like yeah, he can also bench 50. But the guy who can only bench 50 can't bench 350.
Right. I agree. You can't be walking around like you're a tough guy if you're barely lifting the bar on the
Yeah, like that's the difference between the guy who worked for his muscles and the guy who injected fucking synthol into them.
Oh, countless stories from Brazil about that stuff. Ugh.
Oh god, yeah, no, like freaking like muscular necrosis, just ugh. Nasty
Yeah,
shit.
the muscles are just rotting away. Like why? Why did they just go to the? That's when I truly believe in what's that one condition? Dysmorphia? Just dysmorphia?
Dysphoria?
I think so. Where you
Like body dysphoria?
Yeah, body dysphoria. Yeah. That's when I believe. Okay. Now I believe it exists because no sane person or person with, a normal mind will even think about doing that.
No, that
Like,
that's the thing. Like I don't think it has to be like something like a mental condition of body dysphoria. It's quite simple. When you appear bulky, you're treated better.
Well, that too. Yeah, that's a big factor.
Like I've straight up heard from some guys that they get better treatment in traffic when they're driving a more expensive car.
But aesthetic wise, that's where they fuck up. Like, bro, ugh, because they don't even look. They look like mutated motherfuckers. It doesn't even look normal. It just like, yeah, skinny forearm, 30-inch biceps and tricep, and then just tiny shoulders. Like it's so weird.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. Like it looks weird to us, but I gotta wonder how much of it actually works for them, because if it wasn't working for them, they wouldn't do it.
True. I'm sure they just liking the attention overall, Yeah, that makes sense. Because not too many people are doing it anyway. And it is an eye catcher. You see some skinny dude with freaking balloons on their goddamn arm.
Yeah, like, and a bunch of people aren't even going to know what the hell it is to begin with.
So when it comes to being weak, right? So for some reason, I got into a little debate on social media, and more women than men were attacking me for saying that sons and daughters should be taking any type of martial art classes or boxing classes while they're young. I believe they should start young.
Yeah.
And then, you put them in a violent sport. See, this is why your kids end up being bullied or victims in the future, because they don't even know how to defend themselves or have the confidence to defend themselves.
Well, beyond even that, like looking past like the confidence or strength, the experience of being in a combat situation, it's exposure therapy. I mean, what would you rather do? Like have your kid be exposed to violence by beating them or by getting their asses kicked? Getting into a combat sport with actual rules, like they'll be more capable of handling the emotional rush that comes from it. I think like you've even experienced it in the military where a big part of the drill sergeant yelling at you like like what the fuck's it called? Full Metal Jacket style. Like
Yeah.
that's to start to condition you to getting fucking shot at and having bombs going off.
Yeah, and on top of that, yelling doesn't really do shit to me anymore. I'm pretty stoic, and that freaks people out. But
But that's the thing. But you don't start that way.
no, you have to be conditioned and trained.
And that's a big part of it. Getting into any kind of combat sports, it gets you like not only does it get you into being conditioned like for conflict, but it also teaches you to look at and observe people. That all important body language and reading someone's emotions.
I also agree with that.
So no, it is absolutely essential for some kind of combat conditioning. That's why they keep justifying like, oh, you gotta send your kids to public school so they'll be able to read people's faces and their emotions. I'm pretty sure combat is going to teach them how to read people's emotions, faces, and communicate far more effectively than public school, where they're all lined up side to side facing the teacher.
Oh yeah, you'll know if somebody is hurt. You know if somebody is tired. You know if somebody becomes overconfident, etc. And you
And
do it
also,
over and over again. You know it's too easy. Especially, I'll say around 3-4 months. That child will learn a lot more in 3 or 4 months than they'll learn in years when it comes to reading emotions.
absolutely, like because it's absolutely essential that you learn. Like honestly, I think that was one. Like I've taken fencing. I think that was probably the biggest disadvantage. Was in fencing, you don't have the ability to read your opponent's face or eyes. You entirely have to go on their body language and how the sword handles, because you got those full-on face masks. Otherwise, you are going to spear someone right through the brainstem.
Mike Tyson is the same way when it comes to boxing. Actually, he doesn't look at the person's face because the face can't hit him.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like people learn to disguise what they're doing. Like, because for like you'll learn early on is, oh, your eyes focus on something. You look at something that will naturally draw another person's attention to where you're looking, and they'll be able to read your movements. So, like good boxers, I'd imagine, use their peripheral vision a lot to pick their target. Meanwhile, having their main eyes focusing somewhere else.
Yes, mainly on their opponent's arms, right? Because you'll be able to predict where the punch is coming from, and that's pretty much the only thing that can actually hit you. So it's a big importance. But at the same time, yeah, peripheral vision is a big thing. Because at least in combat sports, if you can notice that your opponent is hurting and you know where he's hurting at, like if you hit him in a certain spot and he starts wincing, bingo. Now you know where to attack. But when it comes to wrestling and stuff, the three main things that I do, which is pretty good, is wrestling, boxing, and judo. I believe judo is one of the best out there, especially for close quarters combat. You'd be able to yeet your opponent. If he tries to grab you or whatever, bam, you throw him overhead. You trip him. You do all that other crazy stuff. It's just insane how good judo is. I love judo. I'm not the greatest at it, but I love it.
And you've seen it like applied to real life stuff, like outside the arena, correct?
Yes. That's why I chose those three disciplines, because wrestling, boxing, and judo is definitely things that you can run into per se that will be in your advantage in like a street fight. If some simp gets jealous because his girl's hollering at me.
Would you? I think is of those. I noticed that kicking is not prominently featured. Do you not recommend kicking for self-defense combat?
I actually do recommend kicking. Honestly, I really do recommend kicking. If
Get
you're
trained under any of those disciplines, or would you have to take something else?
well, okay. I say kicking is the most. How do I say the most effective with MMA or Taekwondo? But I'll say MMA just because kicking is definitely effective in a fight, especially how to. Because I can't stretch that good. Like I'm not a flexible guy, so I can't like do some crazy high kick, or I could do a roundhouse kick, but I can't like aim high or aim low. But if you're able to pinpoint your kick, especially if you're able to kick the person in the head, woo, 9 times out of 10, that's a knockout.
Dash into the temple would probably do a lot of damage.
See okay. I see everybody coming up in here. Hold up. Free Ross, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and kickboxing is all you need. Yes, I agree. I agree. If you just don't do those two things, not too many people are able to take you on if they're like similar size, similar weight. But the big thing that I do want to learn in the future, and I'm not looking forward to it, but at the same time I am, is Muay Thai. I really want to do that. But I know the training is no fucking joke. Like I'm not looking forward to it, but if I'm actually able to do it and just brace through the Muay Thai training, and I know the Muay Thai training takes years to master, you'll be a dangerous dude. Dangerous. Hell, you'll be a dangerous woman. I wouldn't want to face a woman that knows Muay Thai because that means she's very durable and she can match that energy if she's once again around the same size as you, if you get what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I would not want to
especially
go against somebody that knows Muay Thai. Would you say, Gray?
well, especially that's also if height. I guess with Mike, I understand there's a lot of height requirements, and that's the big thing with kicking. Is that's really where height plays into combat effectiveness because that's your range. An extra 6 inches of height, that's probably an extra 6 inches of range that you've got.
That's true. If I can't kick you in the head, I'll kick you in the liver. You still go down. The liver shots are no joke. Your
Now
body
that's the
literally
thing, but
shuts.
but if you're 6 inches taller than your opponent, then you can kick them in the liver from 6 inches further away, and they probably can't even reach you at that point.
That's true. And for advice for people that has to deal with somebody that's taller than you but around the same weight, you need to get up close and personal. Don't let them keep their distance because that's how they're going to pick you apart. Whether it's a fight with a referee or a street fight, if you're not the tallest dude and you're going up against a guy that's like what 5'11", 6 foot, you need to get on the inside.
It's like when you're facing an opponent with a spear, you don't want to get at maximum range because that's their advantage.
Right. Because how is he going to use the full effectiveness of a spear if he can't even fully like get you like that, like up close? Like if you guys can imagine, if you have a spear and the guy's like literally right up on you, like it's like how can you stab the guy? Like because unless you want to risk stabbing yourself, you can't really stab him if he's like 2 inches away from you. So definitely up close and personal is favorable if you're not the tallest dude. If you're like average height, 5'8", 5'7", around there. I know we're getting carried away with this combat thing, but I still believe it's important for men, women too, but specifically men to get into combat sports while they're young. And then even if you don't, okay, it is what it is. Try to get into it as soon as possible in your young adult life.
Even like some kind of like football, even some kind of contact sport can go a long way, if not outright combat, but some kind of sport where like there's direct conflict.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And getting tackled in football, I'm telling you, if you guys have not played like actual football, actually no, I ain't gonna say like that. If you guys haven't played contact football, that that shit is no joke. It would definitely test your fortitude, especially when you somebody gets a clean hit on you, like tackle you. Ooh, it knocks the wind out you.
uh, yeah, I know, it's one thing though when you got like a bunch of guys around the same size, but when it's like just kind of a pickup game with three other guys, and the guy who tackles you is 3 years older and you're like 8.
Oh, that. Oh, nah, okay. I wouldn't go. I would go. I probably push the kid down, but I wouldn't like just straight up spear him. Hit stick. Oh shit! But the biggest thing though, when it comes to combat sports or sports with contact overall, competitiveness and the risk of losing is a big thing when it comes to teaching men to not stay weak, right? Because these days, all these sports they have nothing but participation trophies, and I 100% disagree with that. What do you have to say about that, Gray?
Well, I'm in disagreement, but honestly, I really don't think it's for the kids.
What? It's for the parents to shut the hell up.
Yes. I really honestly do think that because I think I've gotten one like as a kid before, and it's like, this, I don't want this. I didn't ask for this, and it's fucking humiliating to have. Like, what are you gonna put your participation trophy in a trophy case?
I couldn't. I'll probably break it. Not gonna lie.
That's
I'll
the
probably
thing.
break the shit. Yeah.
It's not for the kids. It's for the parents.
Well,
Like, because the parents have taught that if you want something in a competitive sport, you complain about it.
which pisses me off. Oh man.
Like, it's not the kids whining and complaining.
No, it's the parents. Yeah.
So,
I have a good example though. You know Marshawn Lynch?
No.
Probably not. You're okay. Yeah. I forgot. You're from up north. So Marshawn Lynch, he used to be running back for the Seahawks, and I'm sure a good amount of you guys in the chat are able to know where I'm going with this. He told a child to get the fuck off my field because he believes that the child was underperforming. Right? And believe me, that is the nicest thing a coach can ever say to you, in my opinion. Okay. But he said, hey, like get the fuck off the field, you know. Once you're ready to actually get shit done, or if you're ready to perform, I'll let you back in. And the mother just went nuts. The child just went crazy. Talk about, oh, how dare you talk to my kid like that? Blah 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 blah. And Marshawn Lynch, he didn't really want to associate with her like that because turns out eventually I'm pretty sure she was a single mother. The video's on YouTube. I'll be able to send to you later. But he wanted to talk to the husband or the man of the household because only, and I agree, only the man can actually understand what Marshawn Lynch was doing. But the mom was too busy coddling that kid, too busy trying. Oh, he's doing his best. How dare you yell at and curse at him? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, the coach, Marshawn Lynch, the coach, because he was a coach at the time. he had a lot of patience. I commend him because Marshawn Lynch, he will choke you the fuck out. I'm telling you, bro, Marshawn Lynch is a dangerous motherfucker if he wanted to. He gives no fucks. He doesn't. But to make the mother understand, he's like, you know what? Let me talk to the husband. Let me talk to the man of the household. She didn't even have a man in the household. So that explained a lot. All he was just trying to tell her, like, hey, your son was not performing good enough in my standards, so I'm gonna bench him. I was gonna bring him back. I was gonna bring him back once he's ready, because I wasn't here for the complaining or the moaning or crying and stuff. We're here to get ready for football. But the mother, how dare this motherfucker? Like, that's a good example of why there's so many weak men out there, and weak men that chooses to stay weak. What do you have to say about that?
Well, first thing is this is where I get kind of pissed at like the boomers and the Gen Xers that bitch about kids today getting participation trophies. The kids didn't ask for it. The kids didn't make them. The kids aren't the one that bitched and complained to the coaches and the school administrators and athletics departments to make the participation trophies. You people are fucking complaining about shit that you made and you enforced and you propagated. So take fucking responsibility for your own horse shit.
I agree, because when I was growing up, especially high school football, I broke a good amount of bones, but I didn't bitch and complain. Like, I literally had to snap my my pinky finger back into place when it got dislocated during the play. You know, like, I don't know. It just, what's happening these days is astonishing on how a lot of men are weak and choose to be weak. I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about men. They're choosing so bad to just be very similar to women, just complain and moan and bitch until they get the same outcome as a man that busts his ass. Equity.
Now, but then again, now on that regard, that's where we have to look at how is society operating right now.
Right.
Strong man is punished. You can look at it even as something as simple as the tax systems. The more money you earn, the greater a percentage of what you make goes to taxes. So business owners will straight up choose to make less simply because they don't want to have to work twice as hard to make slightly more money.
I agree. I definitely agree with that, man. It's crazy, especially with the traditional men, right? In my opinion, the traditional men are slowly dying. Not in a fast pace, but slowly but surely. You know, if things don't turn around, it's only a matter of time before traditional men becomes endangered by 2050. So when it comes to that aspect, why, and I agree with you, Gray, why would a man bother anymore to try to be strong? Why would he bother to try to be masculine and macho and try to save the day if he's punished for it?
The same thing with like men have it helping out. Like there's no more good Samaritans because like you're probably gonna die and you're gonna get nothing for it, if not sent to prison for your actions.
Agreed. It all comes back into the household, right? So let's say that the mother didn't kick the father out the household yet. The fact that his hands are so tied behind his back and he can't almost never put his foot down without the underlying threat of getting in trouble, in the sense of with the family, with the police, the courts, all that stuff. So he has to suck it up and take it and not truly teach his son, right? Like he can have a daughter, but I'm talking about the son. He can't truly teach his son how to be self-efficient and operate in a very harsh world.
And then even like standing up for like one's values, like shit, you heard about that one daughter who like literally sold out her parents over the January 6th stuff.
Bro, I'm telling you, she will be disowned in a millisecond. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Mainly because I don't like snitches. But at the same time, the just the audacity, because I'm gonna explain to you, chat. The government ain't gonna be there for you. The state ain't gonna be there for you. Law enforcement ain't gonna be there for you. Your neighbors ain't gonna be there for you. Who are the only people who will be there for you if shit gets crazy in your life, or if shit gets crazy in society, such as shit hitting the fan? Your family, right? It doesn't have to be your mom or dad or sibling, whatever it is. It can just be your brother or your sister. It could just be your cousin or wherever it is. How can we trust you at that point if you're snitching your own parents to the fucking government about something that wasn't even considered and still isn't considered as a what's it called, insurrection?
Yeah. And they keep trying to sell it as that, but ain't sticking.
Like I will never ever, like I'm telling you, my kid will never be forgiven.
But
Ever.
that's where like the thing with weaknesses, like even trying to acquire strength is punished. Trying to be stronger is not incentivized because oftentimes like I mean, heck, like what do you think matters more when getting a job these days? That you are the best qualified for the job, or that the HR lady agrees with your politics?
Or you're black. Let's keep it real.
I don't know. If you're a black conservative, man, like you're still fucked.
Hey, she won't. She doesn't have to know.
If it's posted on your fucking Facebook profile, then it will be. Every employer checks your fucking Facebook these days.
Good thing I don't have a Facebook.
That might it's the thing that might even be worse. They'd be like, "Oh, they don't have a Facebook, but they got the high. Are they even real?" So that's the thing. Not having a Facebook to some is just as bad as having a bad Facebook.
Are you a figment of my imagination?
I mean, I know you got all these documents and IDs and a government number, but if I don't know what you've been doing every day for the past 10 years, do I even know you're real?
I'm sorry. I just imagine myself in an interview and just hearing that shit. Oh, it's great. But Yogi No Abs. Swole shaming. Why would a swole man feel shame? He wouldn't, but the fat phobic bullshit that's been going around lately, it is astronomical. See, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to weakness. If a man did that, he will be destroyed to oblivion. But if he's a male feminist or a weak soy boy man, like in a few videos we've seen before.
Let's give an example though.
Oh, I'll tell you an example.
Like Planet Fitness.
All right, yeah, that's a good enough example for me. Yep.
That's where a fucking swole man trying to push himself gets fucking shamed and removed from the premises.
Literally, and this one skinny dude in a yellow shirt, if you guys remember, like he's like 100 pounds soaking wet, trying to shame swole men, get them gains. He's trying to shame those type of men for going to the gym. All these women shaming men and women for going to the gym to burying themselves, being stronger, faster, more endurance. That's the epitome of weakness. I'm not really surprised if it's women and children. But if you're a man, that's fucking pathetic. In my opinion. Why wouldn't you try to better yourself strength wise, health wise, whatever wise. Okay, you're too busy drinking those soy lattes and shit. I won't have any respect for you. I wouldn't, unless you have a very good reason. Unless you just don't like working out. Okay, cool, fine. I can accept that. But if you're over here being a hypocrite, you don't want people to judge you for your choices. But then you're going out and judging other people for wanting to be healthy. Fuck off. What do you have to say about that? Greg?
That's the thing. They're going on the basis of it makes me feel bad, therefore it needs to stop.
And what's up with these made up words too? Why do we have all these made up words? Why? Why? Fat phobic. Where did this fat phobic shit come from?
Yeah, no, and that's the funny thing, because like, okay, well, much like the pill, like how there's all kinds of different words with pill as the suffix. It starts off with homophobia, and then homophobia becomes a slur. So then they just tack on whatever it's like, oh, fat phobia. It's like homophobia, but for fat people. Like, well, I can't remember any time that fat people were stoned. So
Yeah, where is this coming from?
But that's the thing, like it carries that kind of thing where it's like, no, I don't have an irrational fear of fat people. It's not like arachnophobia or thalassophobia. Like,
Yeah,
I ain't afraid of someone else who is fat. Now, am I afraid of myself getting fat? I mean, yeah, like if I woke up tomorrow and I doubled my body weight in fat, yeah, I'd be pretty horrified. Straight up.
Greg, give me 1 second. Dre or Dree, I'm proud to be a fat fuck. I don't care. Hey, go ahead and be proud, man. Hey, go ahead and do your thing. You're not the one that's complaining and trying to shame others when they want to go to the gym and actually get some gains, right? I don't mean that in a disrespectful tone, but you know what I'm talking about with these feminists and liberals.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think a lot of it, and beyond that, I think a lot of it comes down to the sex stuff. Like, if a gay, it's like suck the feminine penis, bigot. Like, if you're not willing to screw someone who's trans, then you're transphobic. If you're not willing to screw someone who's fat, or specifically a woman who's fat, then you're fat phobic, because you can't shame a woman by calling her fat phobic when she doesn't want to do a fat dude.
Why would I want to go out like that one black guy with that 400-pound woman? Why? Never. I know there's cottage cheese up in there.
Oh, God, sorry. I hear that and like, just as soon as it goes slow mo, like I don't know what the original sound was, but I've got Ave Maria playing.
But Island Hermit, I'm afraid of fat rolls. They scared me. Honestly, I'm afraid too. I'm afraid because when the pandemic happened, all the gyms were closed. Everything was closed. And in fact, we weren't even allowed to roam around like that, you know, when I was in the military. But since we can't even go out and do physical training, we were just stuck in our rooms. And we were stuck in the rooms for the longest time, right? This is literally when things started to kick up when it comes to the beer flu. I definitely started to gain weight. I was in denial at first. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'm just, sipping too much. Let me just, add some beef, add some vegetables and see where that goes. You'd be surprised on the difference if you work out every day and then all of a sudden you're not even allowed to go to the gyms anymore. But you still continue to eat the same amount of calories. I was in denial. I was, but then eventually I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm getting a little bit pudgy. It's definitely not a good feeling. I definitely would not want to, because once again, I've seen people pass away from being too big. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
Doctors
I
told
believe
them,
it.
just told them, they're like, hey, you need to correct your diet. You need to correct your diet. You need to correct your diet. Never listen to the doctors. A few months later, gone.
Well, that's the thing. A bunch of people in those conditions, they don't really get motivated to lose weight until they have their first heart attack.
I don't even want to know what a heart attack feels. Unless it's like the end of my life, then all right, fine. I kicked the bucket. But having a heart attack at around 30 years old, 35, that is petrifying to me.
Well, sounds like fat phobia right there.
You're afraid to have a heart attack? You fat motherfucker.
That's discrimination.
And I'm sure, okay, I have a question for the chat. Everybody in the chat right now, put in a 1 if you told a family member or a friend to lose weight. They refused to lose weight and they suffered the consequences. I repeat, put a 1 in the chat. If you told a family member or a friend to lose weight, they refuse to lose weight and they suffer the consequences down the line. Because as much as you want to help this person, it's just like there's so much you can do. See, all these ones, that's very, very concerning, bro. Very concerning.
Yeah. Until like you realize someone like, look, you gotta move around a bit more. You can't just like your exercise cannot be you went from your bed to the couch or chair, watch television, and then went back.
No, in fact, I've had a couple of friends and family members. I'm just like, hey, let's take a walk outside, 15, 20 minutes at least. Let's just go for a walk. But they just want to be there and chill, watch their morning shows and eat their bacon and eggs. And I'm like, bro, if you're gonna be doing all this, I don't want to hear you complaining. That's the thing. They complain about the position that they're in when it comes to being severely obese or morbidly obese. But when it's time to do something about it, especially if you have somebody that's willing to do the workouts with you, be your motivator, it's like, I'm good. I'm okay. Like, what the fuck? Weakness.
Yeah, and this is the other thing too. Like losing weight, like okay, I can understand not going to the gym. Okay, I can get that. Maybe I could even be somewhat sympathetic to like being kind of lazy and unmotivated. Okay, but you still gotta fucking eat like shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, fucking 2,000 plus calories did not accidentally get inside you. You weren't just like laying in bed and the food marched into your mouth of its own accord.
Great, no
If
joke. I seen somebody eat 2 tomahawk steaks along with 4, I think it was around 4 hot dogs. Tomahawk steaks.
I see, but that's what gets me. It's like it's not just like this is where personally, like if someone's trying to bulk, like personally, like I'm trying to bulk, but right now I'm kind of it's short on cash and probably will be for a while yet. Like I can't afford the bulk. I cannot afford the fucking calories.
Wait. Hold up. I gotta stop you.
Yeah.
I know the inflation is a big issue. I agree. But what have you been getting to try to bulk?
I've just been trying to eat regular food, really.
So you haven't tried the good old rice, good old put on some ground beef or some chicken on it, you know?
Oh, that's what I've been eating.
Oh, that's that what? Okay, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like the quantity. Like I'm currently rationing.
Rice and beans work too. I agree.
Yeah.
Uh,
Actually, I think I got a thing of peanuts somewhere. That'd probably go a long way.
and once again, I do see what you're saying. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Heavy cream. Oh, that definitely helps with bulking. I agree with that. Um, but I only eat one meal a day, so it's definitely a lot different for you if you're eating 3 to 5 meals a day. So I see what you're saying.
No, but beyond that, like that's the thing with like people who are obese, they got to put the calories in. And honestly, they're probably not cooking all those calories. Meaning they might not be motivated to get to the gym, but they're motivated enough to get to the fast food joint. They're getting the
Or
food somehow.
the Uber Eats shit or DoorDash.
Precisely, which again, it's fucking expensive.
Exactly.
So
I'm
like
like,
it is like it's not cheap to be obese.
it's not. And they want to act all confused on why people aren't really trying to get at them. Not only that, okay, I'm gonna say it. Not only that you look physically unappealing, they know that the amount of calories you put in there, even before the inflation BS, it is not cheap. I actually have a couple videos I'm gonna put up later on today about that. Like, so okay, and okay. I won't completely put the blame on the person that's gained all that weight. I'll put some blame on the enabler.
Well, that's the other thing because there was this one lady like she was so fat she couldn't get out of bed, and her fucking simp bitch of a husband is feeding her like thousands of calories, if not tens of thousands of calories every fucking day.
What's it called? Subway, lasagna, big old breakfast plate. Like, what the hell? Like, I
I'm
throw
pretty
up
sure I'm
at
pretty sure to get it to actually even get close to obesity, I wouldn't be surprised if you'd have to get like $50 in takeout every single day.
$50 in takeout, and on top of that, cooking all that carbohydrate goodness and the protein, mainly red meat. Red meat. You know, they okay. And once again, I'm not trying to be a complete asshole about it. I'm not. I know that with a good amount of those cases of being obese, like obese, on some 600-pound life obese. I understand that not all, but a decent amount of them they eat because of emotional reasons. You know, I I, I agree. There are people out there that eat just to feel good. You know that dopamine or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is like you've got to have literally nothing else in your life more enjoyable than eating.
Which is pretty sad. I agree. It
Yeah.
is sad.
Which honestly, I'm pretty sure that that's why it affects women more because like men have hobbies. Like I'm more than willing to be like fucking starving hungry. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of fucking hungry right now. But
Yeah,
you
about
know,
to cook some stuff.
I got shit to fucking do.
Yeah.
Like, I got
I'm
stuff that can
gonna
distract me and ways to get that fucking dopamine fix.
yeah, I'm gonna
Someone
have a
doesn't
late
have
night
any of
dinner.
it.
So yeah, I know what you're saying. Sometimes I don't even have time to eat because of the hobbies. So
Precisely. So like that way, it's fairly easy to be like, you know, I can skip a couple meals and get by on little. But if that's your only luxury, if like you basically eat, sleep, watch television, and that's your life, yeah, you're gonna get fat. Plus, without anything else to spend your money on, and depending on where you get your money, that's true.
yeah, I couldn't
Food addiction as well, yeah. Especially like anything with MSG. Well, MSG actually wouldn't be that bad because that shit makes you feel full even when you're not.
MSG is tasty, but that, in my opinion, it shouldn't be an everyday thing.
Oh god. Well,
It
no,
should be.
it shouldn't, but
Yeah.
I think that you'd eat less. Like if you were having stuff with MSG in it, because you'd feel full even if you didn't get the calories you needed.
And that's the biggest thing. Why not teach the obese, morbidly obese people that you can still feel just as full with a fraction of calories? But then,
No, but that's the thing. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's not about the fullness. I think there was a Louis C.K. skit that addressed it. He's like, because his went to his doctor and his doctor asked him like, "Hey, how much do you eat before you're full?" And Louis C.K. said, "Full? I don't stop eating when I'm full. I stop eating when I hate myself."
bro, that is terrifying.
Like that's the thing. I don't think it's a matter of satisfying some kind of physical craving there. It is straight up like emotional about the act of eating. Combine
Bro,
that with the flavor.
I have to read this right quick. Don't they use corn syrup and everything in the US? Yes. Well,
Yeah.
majority of things, yes. But
Basically, yeah. So no, it's. I think it goes back like they. Honestly, I'm starting to believe that it's the act of eating in of itself that feels good, combined with the taste. Like they can't just eat a shit ton of fucking vegetables.
the act of eating. Well, how would you elaborate that? Like the act of eating.
Oh
Like the routine or
no! I think that like, you know how like working out can feel kind of good,
yeah.
or like doing an activity can feel kind of good, or like doing a hobby. I believe it's like that, but eating.
Eating is a hobby.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the
That makes
cooking,
sense.
but like straight up consumption. Like the act of consumption is the dopamine hit.
All right, that makes a lot more sense now why eventually. And once again, I'm not downplaying certain situations that morbidly obese people go through. But if you recognize there's a problem, you got to have that fortitude. You can't have that weakness. You got to be able to go through with it and try to get back into optimal health. And I know I'm saying that is easier said than done, right? I'm saying that it's simple, right? Way more simple than it actually is. But if you know, you have the knowledge that you don't have that much time left when it comes to being alive, and you still eat anyway, I kind of lose sympathy for you.
Well, but that's also the other thing. How many of these people actually want to live to begin with?
Well, when you put it like that, it's okay. I don't think it's a fact that if they want to live or not. How
Well,
do
no,
I
because
say?
like you're saying, like, look, they have to give up the only thing that they have going on in life, eating, and they effectively have to suffer if they want to live.
I don't think they want to die. It's just
No,
that
no, no, no. It's that no, they want to live while they can maintain their existing lifestyle, and they would rather die than live a lifestyle that is harder.
oh, they're too afraid of change.
And not even afraid of change, right? Someone who's eating like if you take away them eating, they like you've taken away the one hobby that they have. And not only that, but if they're used to eating an insane amount, it's going to be bloody uncomfortable to even reduce their calories to a healthy amount, to say nothing of the effort required to actually lose a significant amount of weight.
True, because your stomach are probably ridiculously fucking huge at
Yeah.
that point.
And it's not something that they can just do for a while and then go back to how they were. It's a one-way street. It's like for you to live, you must adopt this lifestyle that takes away your hobby and requires you to be in what you feel as pain every single day for the rest of your life.
A completely different, pretty much, a completely different lifestyle. And I know personally how hard it is to switch from one lifestyle, right, when it comes to being a military, and then going back to being a civilian. I'll give sympathy when it comes to that because it's not easy. It's not the same, but it's similar with my situation.
No, but that's the thing. But it's not just that. It's one that the only benefit offered for adopting this new lifestyle is getting to live longer in this new lifestyle.
I see what you're saying, and with a lot of morbidly obese people, they have their own issues of their own on various reasons of why they overeat in the first place. I do see why they're like, okay, I'd rather just continue what I'm doing until I'm not here anymore than to go through the strenuous lose 200, 300 pound program. And I have to be mindful or I have to be more restricted on my diet for the rest of my life. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like again, it's like the carrot. I'd say it's the three. Like there's three factors: the carrot, the stick, and the gun. Like the carrot's what keeps you going on the treadmill. The stick is what also keeps you going on the treadmill, and then the gun is if you fail. For a fat person, there's no carrot. Like if anything, they'll probably feel the stick more. And then the stick, well, they've just gotten accustomed to the pain of being fat and not able to get around normally. Their lifestyle has built around that by that point.
So what you pretty much saying is, unless they want to change it themselves, like actually actively like, hey, I want to change my lifestyle, it's pretty much a lost cause.
They need a carrot. They need something beyond you get to live longer as a reason. Like for example, if you want to, like this would be one thing. Like if you want to live long enough to see your grandchildren, like that's a carrot.
Well, that's usually a big reason. Grandchildren, children, wife, all that stuff. Yeah, I say that's a big indication of, or a big reason on why they're like, you know what? I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for them.
Yeah. Or alternatively, when they get the heart attack scare, like if they're lucky enough that they get a heart attack and they have the opportunity for a second, then the fear kicks in. And the fear will override the comfort that the food gives.
Yeah, knocking on death's door.
Because a lot of people don't really understand the fear of death until they're staring it in the face.
I agree. Because once you're gone, it's game over.
Like the brain does not want to die. Like a person might want to die, but their brain doesn't.
Yep. Why? What's his name? I think his name is Eric Thomas, the motivational speaker. He pretty much says that you gotta be able to willing to. How do I say? Because if you go to the sea and you go underwater, you should be willing to succeed just as much as you want to breathe if you're in the ocean and you're drowning. I know it's sidetracked, but It's somewhat similar to what we're talking about in the sense
It
of
is.
uh existential crisis or near death experience. As much as you wanna in your own life, you know, sometimes it is certain situations where it's like, no, I don't want to, because you can proclaim that, oh, this is this is that, blah blah blah, until you actually do the deed, and then you like, oh shit, fuck that, no, I want to live.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's even been some people who've like jumped in order to end themselves, but they survived the fall. And as they were on their way down, their brain kicked in and made them realize no, they didn't actually want to go.
Exactly, right. And I know there's a lot of other comparison, right? I know it's different if you throw yourself in the ocean compared to if you put a 5.56 millimeter to your brain.
Yeah, well,
And
you don't really have that much time for regrets if you're doing it that way.
exactly. But I'm gonna read this comment right quick. Eating is like breathing. If you stop doing it, you will die. Not controlling what or how much you eat is just plain weak. How do you make someone strong? Make them suffer. Yes and no. Yes and no. You don't want to make a person suffer to the point where they will rather die than to get strong. It's a balance.
And that's part of it too. Like these people who are eating, like by and large, they're already suffering, and the food is just how they cope. Like until you take care of the root issue behind it, then all you're going to do is swap one vice out for another. I mean, you could take someone who eats a shit ton and make them a hardcore smoker. They'll probably lose a shit ton of weight, but now they've just swapped out their vice, and now they're going to have lung cancer and probably
Exactly.
still a heart attack. So,
And gentlemen, every person have their vices. It is what it is. It's a fact of life, right? Like this one lady, I have the video on my channel if you want to watch it, that try to come after Martin Luther King because allegedly, right? Because supposedly it wasn't even proven yet. Allegedly, Martin Luther King was cheating on his wife on multiple occasions. But that still doesn't take away from the accomplishments that he did. But you already know modern women, they want to be like, oh, you know, men are this, men are that, you're not great, blah, blah, blah. But make it a female taking Martin Luther King's place. She will die on that hill defending, even when she is cheating on her husband. But it's 2022 bullshit. It's something that's not surprising, right? You know, if you have an XY chromosome, expect to get attacked just because you have an XY chromosome. So, let me, where you at? I know there's another one. Give me a second. Nick, are you really going to ask me that right now? Come on, bro. Hey, great. Do you see that?
oh,
How are you going to ask me that? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
It's the new N word, man.
But look at his entire name. He knows.
Oh, that's good.
He knows.
That's
He's
clever.
trolling. He's trolling.
That's fuck point for cleverness.
But with my personal opinion, I cannot stand weak people. I can't stand weak men. All right. I'm not saying that men cannot have their issues. I'm not saying men cannot have their limits when it comes to dealing with the adversities that life throws at them. But if you just choose to stay down and take it, my respect it's just gone at that point. I can't personally, I can't associate with a guy like that. because life ain't fair, life is dangerous, life is sexist, life is life. That's something that you cannot change. But as a person that's able to, hey, let me increase my odds to get stronger, to get faster, get wiser, get more resources, uh be more social in certain aspects. Let me work on that so I can be a better overall human. Why men in this day and age doesn't want to work on that? I understand, but at the same time I don't understand.
Well, no, that's where we get into the questions of motivation.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, why should they get stronger?
Right, because they'll be punished for it.
That's the thing, is like, do this painful thing, like, for no reward.
In fact, I'm gonna punish you.
Do this thing for no reward, and as a bonus, you get to live longer, you get punished more.
Agreed. So, do you believe the societal climate, if I said it right, do you believe because of how men are being so mistreated these days? And yes, men are being mistreated. Don't pay attention to Chad or Tyrone chat. I'm talking about the 80% of men. Hell, add in a few Chad Tyrones. Even they are getting mistreated these days. Believe it
Oh,
or not.
they get mistreated eventually. Like, they live high for a while, but eventually, one of two things tends to happen to Chad or Tyrone. Either they get commitment, or they finally commit themselves because they can't keep up the momentum. That, you know what, I do want to settle down a bit, and that's where they get completely fucked. Or he gets increasingly wild and eventually runs afoul of the law.
So, let's see if I'm able to say this. So, in my opinion, this femboy phenomenon, I believe it's just men that pretty much are easily influenced by society or gave up trying to be masculine and literally had the motto of if you can't beat them, join them. What
That's
do
the
you have to
thing,
say?
is like, well, straight up being a femboy nowadays, the amount of fucking approval that is acquired, like, it's huge, man.
Yeah, I agree. I
Like,
agree.
like
And
these days, and also think about the effort required to put in. Like, is it easier to like put on a dress and some makeup and talk in a higher pitched voice, or go to the gym every day for 3 years?
they'd rather put on a dress and a skirt and twerk and shit for TikTok and all that
And
nonsense.
who in the modern day like really gets more approval, like, on a large scale? Is it
Straight
the masculine dude who's like the jock Chad, or is it the femboy?
femboy. Straight men are definitely demonized more than ever in 2022. And when it comes to the once again, and I believe it's similar to Thailand as well. They just got sick of not being treated fairly per se when it comes to the eyes of the law and society. They rather join the enemy than
No,
to
but then you
rebel.
look at like, and it's necessarily a new thing. Like, boy bands have always had a lot of thrill, and keep in mind, like, this tends to influence like the younger groups, but it's the younger women that are like squeeing over fucking K-pop stars and boy bands all the time. So it's not just society on the larger scale, it's their peers, it's their social group, it's the people that they have to deal with every single day.
Yeah, those dudes that put on makeup and shit. I'm not saying that men don't put on makeup if you're a celebrity, but BTS, holy fuck. That's some feminine pop group. Hey, they can have their success. Don't get me wrong, but that doesn't change the fact. Like literally, they're like fucking sticks with makeup.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, it's very much emulating like the female pop idol group.
Exactly. But I'm gonna read this right quick. Rodrigo da Silva, probably butchered that. But thank you for your $5 rupee. Is it rupee?
Rubles? Is it rubles?
I don't know. But today's chick got bored even with Chads. It's crazy. By the way, do Gray have a channel? Gray, I keep telling you, bro. I
I
keep
know.
telling you.
Fuck. There's fucking demand.
Where's your channel at, bro? Where's your channel? He'll have a channel soon. Like, don't get me wrong. He just needs to find like he needs to wake up one day, just be like, you know what, I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, might be soon. Just part of it's because I usually, like, honestly, these guys can fucking testify every time. Like, you leave and I got to carry this shit solo. Like, my fucking charisma drops like a stone. So I just don't. I'm just not used to being a solo act.
No, I think you'd be phenomenal in the solo act, especially if you have your editing game on point. I believe you'd be doing a phenomenal job.
Well, it is the weekend. Maybe see what I can see if I can throw a video together. Maybe try to get a script or even some kind of topic.
I'll jump
Honestly,
on your
like,
stuff.
yeah, like, honestly, if like I know Chronic, like, he's good at helping that kind of stuff. If he's got advice, I'd gladly take it.
Oh, too easy. In my opinion, making videos is not that hard, but it is time consuming. But it's not hard if you get what if you get what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, I've got the editing skills to do it. Just honestly, it's
I
probably just a
believe
matter. It's honestly, it's just probably a matter of, well, no excuse being weak. Just get out, start doing it. Be okay to fuck up for a while, and then eventually, like,
if you have your editing on point, I believe that you will be getting views very quickly because editing is definitely key in my opinion. And I won't mind sharing your video either. I'll see if Ribby on the Chronic or whoever's part of the Warband. I'll make sure they share it too because I really do believe you have a lot to contribute when it comes to male issues or world events, current events. I do believe you have something to give.
maybe I can start off with something like article responses. Work from there. Something to bounce off
Oh,
of before I try going full solo.
that's the biggest thing. Article responses, yes. We don't really have that really. I know Ribby, he does the Reddit response. Chronic, he does article responses once in a while, but not that frequent.
Yeah.
I say that if you're able to do like one article response a day, your channel will blow up.
All right. All right. Yeah, I'll look into that. So, yeah, maybe if we find something, or if anyone wants to submit something to the Discord.
Oh, too easy. I'll definitely make sure that happens. Well, at the same time, you may or may not need to create your own Discord.
All right. Well, yeah, add or even or gilded for those who are on gilded. So,
But Gray, is there anything else that you want to talk about this subject? I will be right back. Give me 1 minute.
okay. Well, this is something that I brought up on Hermit's channel, but I find that a big problem nowadays is that people need a reason to not be weak. And there's not a lot of that now. They need some sort of goal that hasn't been taken away by either society or just an understanding. Pursuing women, that used to be the primary driver for men. Why would they get better jobs? Why would they try to raise their status? For many, why would they even try to raise their fitness level? Initially, it's to impress women. In time, it becomes for its own sake. But I think you'd be hard pressed to find an entrepreneur that got set out and started their own business solely because they wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was probably for money.
I'm back.
You'll find guys that really wanted to pursue like the promotion and really throw themselves into the grind. A lot of times they either are trying to increase their prospects for a girlfriend, or they have a wife and children and they're feeling the pressure to improve more. Extrinsic pressures, extrinsic rewards drive a lot of motivation to improve oneself. And when that's taken away, it's hard to get someone to do something for the first time. If you're accustomed to it and you have intrinsics, like guys who've been going to the gym for a while who have the gains, yeah, they don't want to lose that, but going to the gym also feels good in of itself. And that becomes intrinsic.
Yep, that dopamine.
But I think it'd be very hard to find someone who started going to the gym and kept at it long enough purely for an intrinsic value.
Today or before?
At any time. I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone whose journey at the gym was purely motivated by themselves.
I will say I'm definitely one of them. You know, I'm a rare occurrence. I'm not saying it's common, but
Well, here's the thing. Did your dad ever require you to go to the gym or go with you?
no,
Did you ever have a social group?
no.
You just
Until
straight
I
up
went to the gym.
thing. So you went to them and then you developed a social group at the gym.
Yep.
Do you think you still would have gone there if you hadn't had a social group at the gym?
I will say still, yeah. Because I definitely had a good time, especially with the chin-ups and pull-ups, and I was just having a good time up in the gym. You know, it wasn't really, you know, I'm just enjoying the music, enjoying the vibe, because a lot of people, they go to the gym on their own anyway, whether they're experienced or not. You know, I go there to have a good time when it comes to getting that feeling, you know, after you're done working out. It's just like,
yeah, but here's the thing the point is like Gaspaster's made this comment, like you need to do it for yourself. That's not going to keep you going through the tough shit at the start. To say you need to do it for yourself, like most people don't, not initially.
I agree. I definitely do agree.
Like you can't just tell someone go do this because it will build character. Especially when they could pursue something else that occupies the same amount of time and the same amount of energy, but actually has a tangible benefit.
Yeah. And the gym was definitely the one that taught me discipline. Even though I didn't feel like going to the gym certain days, I just went anyway, just so that I'm able to, I don't know, man. It's just like that dopamine. That's the only thing I can explain it. It's something else. But I do agree with you, Gray. Majority of men will not go to the gym solely for, you know, their own purposes. They will try to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger or what's his name? Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, all those bodybuilders. I agree. Majority of them will go there just so that they're able to project their physique to get to that point, or their friends are like, hey, you know, let's go hit the gym, let's go get those gains, bro. Come on, let's you have time today, all right? We have no football practice, or you know, you're off of work. Let's just hit the gym, bro. Come on, man.
And this is where things like lists and tracking what you do, especially for the gym, they become very important. Like if you were able to do so many reps of a dumbbell curl at a certain weight, having a list and then trying to beat that, that will give you that bit of motivation right there. Because then you're not going for the abstract goal of trying to better yourself or improve yourself. You're going because you want to get that number up.
I agree.
So that's where setting milestones, and that's something that it's harder to do. But list making and goal setting in that regard, just those micro goals, that goes a long way, because like ticking off a box gives you a dopamine hit. Like you will get more dopamine from writing down a record of your achievements at the gym than you will if you don't.
Yeah, I agree. I'll agree. Okay, yeah. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that you can't get any, but you'll get more. Like the same way that, like, if you're playing a video game and there's a whole bunch of list of tasks, like you will get, like scientifically proven, you will get a dopamine hit every time you achieve one of those micro tasks.
Yep. Like you got stronger with 10 pounds on the bench, or, you know, you're able to have a lot faster cardio when you're running on the track. I agree, Gray. I agree. Ryan writing that down, saying, "Hey, yeah, I approve today." Damn, dopamine.
So, like, that's something. If someone is having a crisis of motivation, it's not enough to just say that they need to have discipline. Discipline will come, but it needs to come from overcoming the hardship. Like, no one is born disciplined. Like, oftentimes it has to be brought in by being forced to do something.
Well, someone has to drag them off the bed.
Yeah, someone's got to drag them off the bed. Someone's got to kick their ass to go. It doesn't just happen. Yeah, maybe someone's got more of a genetic predilection to it. But like you look at a child, they are not disciplined. Just getting older does not make you disciplined. It is experience that makes you disciplined.
Similar to a lot of these women out here, modern women.
Yeah. Well, no, and you know, funny, here's kind of another thing, because I saw one of your earlier posts about women today versus women in the 1970s and how much the body shape has changed.
Wait. I don't remember posting that.
Pretty sure it was you. Like you posted that I think it was one of your community posts.
Oh, okay, yeah, community post, yeah.
And like you mentioned, like the increased access to like carbs and fast food and all that. But I'm not entirely sure if that's the only reason. Certainly a contributing factor. But
no, I didn't say processed foods was the only thing.
No, but I think I'd like to add another contributor to that. I'd like to add more.
I named two things, right? I believe it's the main. The other one is the fat phobic bullshit that's happening lately. And once again, I know it's not the only two things, but only has so much space before, you know.
No, but that's the thing. I'd actually say that the fat phobic bullshit is more important, and I'd point to the 90s for that.
Why is that?
Because like back in the 90s, like you didn't have like any of this promotion for the big girls. Like honestly, super skinny, like unhealthy levels of skinniness were what was promoted.
So you're talking about Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret, like all fashion models. It's actually from the pushback against this hyper skinniness and this fear of all these eating disorders, like binging and purging. Like that's what really laid the groundwork for the pro-obesity movement.
But as soon as men are saying, and once again, I'm kind of sidetracking. As soon as men are saying, "Hey, we don't, we don't like big girls," I'm talking about majority of men, not all men. I know some of you guys are chubby chasers, but majority of men, we don't like big girls. It's just not attracted to us. You know, they just make a complete crazy big deal. And personally, I don't believe it's only the men that are influencing it. I believe it's other women.
Well, but that's kind of the thing. Like when it was like when women were highly encouraged to be thin, it was largely other women. Like it was women calling other women fat, and so women like they describe it as like they look in the mirror, you could fucking count their ribs from half a block away, but they'd still see themselves as fat.
That body dysmorpha shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing where that's the thing, body dysphoria tends to be associated with like, oh well, I feel like I should be this way and I'm not. Well, like no, where this was like their brain was denying objective reality. Like they felt fat even when they were skinny.
That is true, but unfortunately, we're going to have to cut it short. Gray, are you willing to have a part 2 of this topic?
Yeah, definitely willing to dive a bit more into this, especially like the issue of motivation specifically.
Yeah,
Because I think
believe
that's something that the red pill sphere itself needs to address a bit more because it's the biggest weakness of like current manosphere content, and it's why the PUAs are able to get so prominent.
Yeah, I believe that we only scratched the surface. I really do. So definitely expect a part 2 on this, gentlemen. Once again, if you want to support your boy, there's 2 links on top of the chat. I'll put it in the comments after this live stream. Super thanks, super chats, whatever it is. I don't care. If you're willing to donate, I definitely appreciate it. But I am glad that you guys stayed around to hear what I have to say. I know Undead Chronic stream is coming up in a few minutes. So while I play the outro, definitely head over there. This was a very good conversation, very engaging conversation. Expect us to talk about this in the near future. This is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully you guys had a good amount of gems dropped on you today. And we are out. Peace.
Peace out, Warband.